Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. And we are still in Brazil. This is Rio de Janeiro. I just want to throw in a little video about just a context of dating and the concept that sometimes people have when it comes to going to foreign places. And I'm going to mention this Rio in specific, where I'm at. So obviously you guys know on the channel that we cover things like this all the time, just about self-help, self-improvement, and also navigating the dating world, social world. And bear with me, I don't have a tripod out here right now. But um I just wanted to kind of dispel a little bit of the illusion to give a reality to the fact of when people sometimes think to themselves, okay, like going to a foreign country like Brazil, especially like Brazil, where people always have this kind of idea that if you come here, at least for the men, it's going to be wild, it's going to be crazy all the time. Everyone's just going to run up to you, and whatever the case is. I just wanted to dispel that to say that it's not really true. Not to say that that's what I'm here looking for. I just like going on vacation. But I just wanted to be known that when people say that, I've had friends tell me this before, that the true experience of Brazil and Rio and this location in general is that you only get that from prostitutes. You'll have prostitutes who walk around, or people who want money, and which fall into the same category. If somebody's out and about on the streets in the nightlife and they're looking for you to give them money, pay for a fancy time, that's all they want. They don't really want to get to know you from you. It's the same thing as a prostitute, to be honest with you. Let's not sugarcoat it. Now, I say that to say you have that everywhere. You have that in the States. It's no different. So don't view it as, I'm not saying it as a negative to the area, because we have a bunch of, let's label, like I said, anything like that a prostitute, whether you're straight up asking for money or whether you're just straight up in the fancy area, the money making area, and you're just looking to grab people to just buy you things, expensive things, and take you on a night of the town just for that, and you're expecting nothing from them in return. It's all prostitution. So we're going to label it all the same. Um, you have that in the States all over the place. So I'm not getting that twisted to say that this is this specific location and this is something that happens here. No. But what I am trying to say is, don't think that while it's a hard time talking with people in the States, you come here and people are going to automatically just love you, and it's like hookup culture, because it's not. Only the prostitutes are doing hookup culture. The regular people are not. Now, that's not to say that it's not easier to get to know people, maybe in terms of something for long term. So anyone who's on that whole passport bros thing and they're like, I want to go out someplace and find someone, I'm not saying that won't be easier, because it probably would be if you had to dedicate the time. But you do have to dedicate the time. It's not going to be a thing where you just come out here and all of a sudden someone just likes you. You have to understand, if that's the case, they're probably just going to use you. No one's going to like you in a week or 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So you really have to have that time invested if you're looking for that kind of thing. The passport bros concept of, I'm going to go someplace, find someone to get married. No, you're only doing that if you're coming back and forth here for maybe a couple of months and you're making it real with someone. I was out here, I was conversating with someone who was, a teacher, just regular conversation, nothing to the point of targeting them for something more, but it was just passing by. They would help give me some directions, regular conversation. And it was a nice conversation, but you could see that regular normal people, just like, when I say normal people, I don't mean to use that in some kind of wrong way or derogatory way, anything like that, but just in the sense, like, you're not just out here as some person who's an easy hookup, easy whatever, just because you're from here. So anyone who was thinking that, and like I said, I'm not saying that I was ever thinking that, but I'm just making note of it, that that is the real deal. When you're talking to people, there are a lot of nice people, but a lot of people don't even speak English. So that's one thing. Two, like I said, don't think in your mind that it's just going to be this thing where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go out there and things are just going to be my way and X, Y, and Z. That's not what it is. So I say that because I just want you to be mindful of it, because a lot of people probably aren't aware of that and they don't think that that's necessarily the case. And like I said, I just want it to be known that that is the case, that it's not like that. In addition to that, um, You definitely got to learn the language, and this probably applies to a lot of places. Though some places a little more English friendly. When it comes to the dating world here, you have to adapt their culture. They're not going to adapt yours. So once again, that whole concept of that you come to Brazil and there's a bunch of women, you're gonna buy. It's not like that. So don't think in your mind that's how it is. No, they're like, I'm not gonna learn your language necessarily. You're gonna have to learn mine, and that's just what it is. So I just want to give a little bit of context with this video in terms of the foreign dating world, and obviously every location is going to be a little different. But I just wanted to give that out there for anyone who's thinking, I'm gonna come here and it's automatically this way. Then on top of that too, there's the difference between the resort areas, the tourist areas, and the areas where it's like, more the regular working class people. Those people are going to probably be a little more fitting to just you regular getting to know them. The tourist area, even the residentials of the tourist area, are like, I went to some high end malls here just because they were nearby, and you're paying an arm and a leg for goods. Like when it comes to luxury goods, because they got to pay a tax on them. You go to places, you see handbags, watches, more expensive than they are in the states. I say that to say it's gonna bring forth this context of these people who are in these areas that you might think is the regular, like, okay, the tourist area that you're like, I'm here, what am I going to find? You're definitely not finding anything on a normal level in those areas. It's all about spending money. And then anyone who you're going to associate with is looking at you like, can you spend money? Not on a prostitute level, but on the level of like, this is the level I'm at. It's like you be in a ritzy area in the United States, and you think you're going to go into that area as a working class person and just be like, okay, I can mingle with anybody. It's the same here, to be honest with you. Don't think that, well, I'm there now, I'm considered the king of the crop. No, you're really not. The exchange in money is really not as much as you think. It's like about 5 times the amount. So $1 in US is like $5 here. So it may not be that expensive with certain things. Someone had told me, I asked, and it was like, when it comes to food, yeah, that's cheap. When it comes to luxury goods, because they're taxed, they're more expensive than the US. So anyone who is in an area that is enjoying those luxury goods, best believe they have a lot of money. So, like I said, this is just to dispel that concept that things are this kind of where people get that mindset. Oh, I'm going to go to Brazil and it's just going to automatically be. No, it's not. Hookup culture here only exists in the realm of prostitutes, which obviously exist in the United States. The truth is, the US probably has a larger hookup culture than anywhere else in the world, specifically large cities like, LA, New York, Miami, maybe Chicago. All these kind of places have so much larger of a hookup culture from what I'm seeing than here, that it's not even on the same level. Like I've gone to some bars here, some lounges, there's live music, everyone's kind of festive, but at the same time too, like hookup culture, like no, like like the young people here are not even trying to be out like that from what I see. Now I'm not saying that there's I've explored all the places, but when I've gone out, I saw a lot of older people enjoying the culture, the music, the food in the more working class areas. But as far as you thinking like it's not, this is not party culture, like this is not that. From what I've seen, and I could be wrong. I'm not saying I've seen it all, but it's definitely not party culture the way you would think in the US. So I just say this to get that idea out of your head that you're gonna come to these places for hookups, and you're like this kind of person. I'm coming there for a hookup. No, it's not working like that. You can get yourself, as far as men goes, you can get yourself an extremely beautiful woman to date, to really put in work to date. A hookup? No, that's not. I just don't see that really happening here. Now, if you're the kind of person who's hooking up left and right in the United States, yeah, you're going to be able to do that here. But at that point, you're not coming here for necessarily to hook up, because you're that guy who probably is, muscles on top of muscles, 6 foot, 1,000. You make, way more than six figures. You're probably some kind of, business owner who's making a bunch of money. Some of these guys on YouTube, not me, and you're making like over 250,000, $500,000. You're like one of these dudes, and with that, you have so much going on in the states when you go to Miami, New York, Los Angeles. that coming over here transitions the same. It's the same. That's different than just you thinking as the average guy who is not getting anything in the US that you're going to come here. I just want to dispel that myth. If you do okay in the US in terms of the dating market, and every now and then you can find someone, you can talk to someone, you put in that long term game, then when you come here, you're going to have to put in that long term game as well. It's not going to be instant. So I just want to make that clear. With that, you guys, as always, take care, be safe, like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.